Welcome to NHL Quick Hits. I'm David Crosby here with Steele Roden, and we're back with another first-round series preview between the Colorado Avalanche and St. Louis Blues. Check out our social media or YouTube channel for the rest of our playoff previews after this episode. Now, these teams do not lack for confidence right now. Colorado won their fifth straight game with a dominant 5-1 win over the Kings, earning the top seed in the playoffs and the President's Trophy. The last time the Avalanche took home that award was 2000-2001, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. Apparently, though, Ryan O'Reilly does not believe in omens. Hours after the Blues scored 7 straight goals in a comeback win over the Wild, the Blues captain dropped the first great soundbite of the postseason. O'Reilly started by saying, quote, "When we're skating and we're physical, I think we give them lots of issues," and finished by saying, "We're going to have some fun and we're going to beat them." Do you think O'Reilly is trying to get in his opponent's heads here and maybe play some mind games with the Avalanche? Or is this to put his own team on notice and kind of let them know the expectations are high in that St. Louis dressing room?
Yeah, I don't think this is O'Reilly trying to get into the heads of the Colorado Avalanche players. I think this is him just leading by example and showing confidence in his team. This is the captain of the St. Louis Blues we're talking about here. 2 years ago, they were halfway through the season. They were dead last in the NHL, and then in that same season won the Stanley Cup. So they have a lot of confidence going to this matchup. Obviously, we all know, everyone knows how exceptional the Colorado Avalanche have been this year and have been for a while. But the Blues are fighters, and they proved that 2 years ago when they were down in the gutters and came back and won the Stanley Cup. So these guys are fighters. They're going to go into the first round bringing the fight against the Colorado Avalanche. So this is just leading by example from the captain for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, we're in total agreement here. O'Reilly is known as a great leader across the league, and I think this was definitely a message to his guys, kind of to fire up that team. But when you're playing with fire, you might get burned. I'm not sure I would want to piss off this Avalanche team because they're already great on both ends of the ice. They don't need any more motivation, I don't think, after that missed opportunity last year. I think they're kind of champing at the bit here to get going. Now, St. Louis, they had an average season, and on the surface, they kind of look like a borderline playoff team despite winning it all, like you mentioned 2 years ago. They're 14th in offense and 19th in defense in the regular season. Now, David Perron did have 2 goals and an assist in Thursday's win, which gave him 58 points in 56 games, becoming the first Blues player to score a point per game since Pavel Demitra did it all the way back in 2002-03. The Avalanche, on the other hand, they were the highest scoring team in the league. Mikko Rantanen had 66 points. Nathan MacKinnon just behind him at 65. Gabriel Landeskog tallied 52. Colorado actually had 5 players eclipse 40 points. St. Louis had 2. Cale Makar would have ranked 3rd in scoring on the Blues with his 44 points. And by the way, he scored those in just 44 games. That's absolutely incredible. So, Steele, what makes Colorado's offense so much better than the rest of the league? And does St. Louis have a chance to slow them down? Or do you think they need to match that high scoring to have a chance in this series?
I think they have to match that high scoring in the series against the Colorado Avalanche because they can bring it on all counts. Any player they have on their roster right now. We all know McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen. Those are your top guys on your forward core as well as on the power play. Those guys are going to be running everything from the get-go. But I love their depth they have up front too. Burakovsky, Kadri, Donskoy. Guys like that can add a lot to the table on the power play, as well as just trying to get the guys motivated and get them into the game if things aren't going well. But it's not just their forwards. It's their defense as well. Samuel Girard, Cale Makar, Devin Taves. All 3 of those guys above 30 points. Like you said, Cale Makar leading the defensive group with 44 points. Girard, 32 points. Taves, 31 points as well. All 3 of those guys had 21 goals combined. So they're getting it from everybody on their roster, and especially on the blue line. That's going to be huge for them against the St. Louis Blues team, who can wear you down at times in the defensive end. So if they can get the puck out, get going, break out well enough, get the puck to Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen, they get things going in the offensive zone, and I think it's going to be an easy ride for the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, Taves and Girard definitely get overshadowed by how incredible Cale Makar is, but they are both really great two-way defensemen, and I think especially on the offensive end, they're underrated. And I'm glad you brought up that second line, too, because they've been fantastic this year. I didn't realize how many points Burakovsky had in this shortened season, but this was really almost a career year for him. Now, we saw a lot of Nazem Kadri here in Toronto. And I feel like he's taken another step in Colorado that hasn't been talked about very much this season. We did hear a little bit about it last year, but I do think he took even another jump this year, kind of limiting taking those bad penalties. He had close to 100 penalty minutes last season. He was just over 30 this year. Now, Kadri was awesome in the postseason last year. He had 18 points in 15 games, and he's exactly the type of player whose impact can grow in the playoffs. So how key is he to the Avs' chances of success this postseason?
Well, I think he proved how important he is to the Colorado Avalanche's success last postseason. Like you said, 18 points in those 15 games when he's not taking those stupid, ridiculous penalties that are costing his team and costing him playing time when he's getting suspended like that. He's a vital player for postseason success. And we saw that when he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Both those times when he got suspended against the Boston Bruins, it really devastated them. If he doesn't get suspended there, they have a real shot at winning the first round and making it past the first round against the Boston Bruins. But he let his emotions get the best of him in the moment. Obviously, that's not what you want, but Kadri's a vital player and a great player for this Colorado Avalanche team. And if he can keep his motions controlled and in check, this Colorado team can go all the way and win the Stanley Cup again.
So let's finish this one off as a prediction. Do you see another magical run here for the Blues, or does Colorado come out on top in this series?
Colorado's coming up on top, and I've got them in 5 games. Like we talked about just previously, I think the Blues need to have this a high-scoring affair, but the problem is Philip Grubauer's just been absolutely amazing all season long. 39-1 is his record with a 195 goals against average, 7 shutouts on the season, tied with Semyon Varlamov like we were talking about yesterday. So the fact that they're going to need high-scoring affair games, but you have one of the best goaltenders in the league in Philip Grubauer on the Colorado Avalanche, it's going to be tough for them. I think the Colorado Avalanche win this series in 5 games.
I'm going to take the Avalanche in 6. I don't think it's going to be an easy series by any means, but I just don't like the way these two teams match up right now. I think Colorado is just rolling on all cylinders, and they're just a runaway train. I don't think St. Louis is going to be able to stop them. I'm not sure anyone is going to be able to, but they're going to have to take care of business in that first round before we get ahead of ourselves here. So that's all the time we have on today's episode, but tune in for more playoff previews this week. On behalf of Steel Road, and I'm David Crosby, and thanks for tuning in to NHL Quick Hits.